Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 2007 saw the release of The Simpsons' long-awaited big screen debut, and it was pretty disappointing. Except for the Spider-Pig song and the scenes with President Schwarzenegger, it had nothing remarkable about it. A genuinely funny film from that year was Hot Fuzz by Edgar Wright, with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, the second part of the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy. What I really liked about Hot Fuzz was that I recognized many of the characters and the situations from growing up in a small town myself, even though I've never fired a gun in the air whilst shouting "Ah!". A film I had mixed feelings about was Sweeney Todd by Tim Burton. I'd call myself a Tim Burton fan, but I couldn't really connect to the film at first. But over the next weeks, I found myself singing the songs to myself and humming them, unknowingly, and so I really grew to appreciate it. A film that I really liked instantly was Juno. I liked the way it dealt with the topic of teenage pregnancy. Serious, but not grave. I mean, the whole feeling of the film was just so overwhelmingly positive. Obviously, Ellen Page was fabulous. It will be very interesting to follow her career, and I hope that it goes really well. But the film also managed to reconcile me with Jennifer Garner, who I hadn't liked at all previously. Diablo Cody's screenplay was simply brilliant, especially for a debut, and I'm interested to see what comes from her. The Oscar ceremony for 2007 was the first one that I watched completely, even though I had school the next day. This had two consequences. The first consequence was that I was really tired the next day at school and almost fell asleep in class. And the second consequence was that ever since I watched this Oscar ceremony, I have a bit of a crush on Helen Mirren. The main competitors at that Oscar ceremony were, of course, There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men. Now, I bought There Will Be Blood on DVD about a year ago, but I didn't get around to watching it just now. But a friend of mine, Matthew, has watched it, and he assures me that it's a really good film, and generally I can trust his taste in films. But I did see No Country for Old Men shortly after it won the Oscar, and I can say it really deserved the award. The film's general theme of obsession and greed really appealed to me. Someone on the IMDb discussion board for No Country for Old Men suggested that the more someone has to do with money in the film, the more it corrupts them, and the more ruthless they act. I think that observation has a lot to it. For example, right at the end, we see that the two children that are given some money immediately start arguing over it. Of course, Javier Bardem Cruz's performance is most impressive. Everything, from his extreme physical appearance and his cold expression, to his drastic brutality, make it truly memorable. What I personally found most disturbing about the character, that he was like a ghost. You knew he was there, but you couldn't see him, and it was as if he haunted Josh Brolin's character. And he definitely continued to haunt me long after I had left the cinema.